Hey, my name's Sean. Welcome to Echoes in Eternity Bourbon. Have you ever just had one of those moments that melted your heart?
Small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And then.
So, first off, thank you so very, very much. After I went to bed, I went to bed early last night. I've been up for 40 something hours. I missed out on a couple of live streams I wanted, but you know what? 1,500 subscribers. Thank you so, so very much. I am eternally grateful for that. You guys are amazing. You guys point me in the right direction on so many things. And I have an absolute blast with you guys in the community. You guys are fantastic members, and I absolutely appreciate it. Yesterday was the Alabama bourbon drop. December is their big bourbon drop. This year they changed the rules a little bit, and it went to 150 people that were drawn for the specific stores. Didn't get one of those numbers, but did get to hang out starting Friday evening, and got 31st and walk up, and got some incredible bottles, which I'll show in a minute. But the most important thing, the thing that kind of melted my heart the most, was the camaraderie that you get there. And I mean, there are so many stories. And I learned this from Matt at Whiskey Wisdom, is that he had mentioned at one time in his life that he was, and Matt, I hope you're not mad I'm sharing this, that he was recording so many things that he wasn't living in the moment. And so I try to listen. My wife may debate with you on whether or not I listen, but I try to listen. And when I go to things like that, I do want to live in the moment. And you can have that balance where you record some stuff, and you just live in the moment. And I'll tell you, there was someone there that I think did an amazing job of that, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I just spent so much time having fun with people and just talking and catching up that it was fantastic. So and you'll be surprised, on a late night in the middle of a parking lot when you're sharing some amazing drams, and talking through things, and having pours you've never had before, and eating brisket that you never knew was going to be there. But let me get to that. So I'll go ahead and get into the story. So I got off of work, on Friday, and shot right down over there. I was 31st place in line for the walk up, and at Auburn time it was like 4 o'clock or so Auburn time, a little after 4 o'clock Auburn time. And we get there and just sit down, and start lay of the land, get out of chair, and you got a couple of different areas where you got everyone kind of around in a big circle, and you're just talking and stuff and having a good time. And we get there, and of all, and I don't say of all things, because this is his area, is Bruzel is from that area. So if those that know Bruzel, I'm sure like everyone that watches my channel probably knows about Bruzel. His given name is TJ. His super, you know what though? That's the thing you don't realize, is that how neat people are sometimes. He doesn't know me from Adam. We're sitting there, into the night. We're sharing some pours. We're sharing some cigars. One of them from a member of this channel, Eric Andrews, and we're just going through life. And he started, asking me questions just in general as a person, and because I never brought up I had a YouTube channel, and I brought that up, and whether or not it makes any of his videos, it doesn't matter, because I really enjoyed the person. I really like the person that he is. He sat there. He took time with people that were there. He got to try some pours from them, and we got to try some pours from him. One of them was Crittenden. I've never heard of Crittenden out of Mississippi. Fantastic. He had one of his short barrel double oaks that were there. Fantastic. And other people brought some amazing pours. I had a couple different old Carters, which were amazing. One whiskey, one rye. Had a purple top 10 year. Dan. Oh my gosh. Dan is a member of this channel. And he brought out a whole freaking brisket. It's funny how some of these things work out sometimes. So Bill Streeton, I've met him at, I've seen him at the bourbon drops, and we've talked. We worked 15 years ago together at the same company. I'm at that company still. He's at a different company, and we talked about that. Well, him and Dan on this channel are really good friends, but Dan didn't know I knew Bill, and Bill didn't know who the heck I was, is because Dan kept saying, "Hey, I'm going to meet this guy up there. We've done some stuff. You know, he does a little YouTube channel." And so Bill put the stipulation to Dan, "Look, I'm coming, but you're going to have to bring a brisket." And so Dan gets this beautiful Angus brisket, smokes it up himself, and brings this thing out and just lets everyone try it till it's gone. And I went back, I think, like 3 times. But I mean, it's got that beautiful accordion thing going on. Fantastic brisket. But then he's also got this amazing pour that he shared with some of us. It's the Holy Water, a 10-year purple top, which was insane. But during the course of the night, you're drinking some amazing pours from amazing people. I had a Found North Maple barrel. I had a Detling that I'd never had, because there was the discussion, I want to go to visit Detling sometime, and I'm like, I want to find a Detling that I really like. And this guy, that man, he had some of the most unusual pours. So thankful for him. And he was like, "Yeah, I've got a Detling." And so he brings it out, and I'm like, I'm kind of really digging this, but it's a single malt. Not everyone likes single malt stuff. I do like some single malt stuff. I thought, man, this is great. It's got a lot of balance. It's got a lot of, things that you can explore. I have a good time with. And he also had one that he had called the Antique 107 Killer out there, which I really liked. Now, it was not as smooth as the 107, but man, it had that boom, punch you in the mouth, cherry candy type of thing going up front that I just really liked. And I can't tell you how many unique different pours that I had that night. I mean, I had what did I have that was so good? It was a Bowman, and it was like an 144 proof Bowman. I actually got a small sample of that I'm getting to someone here. If you guys haven't checked out the Whiskey Panda, get in with the Whiskey Panda on his channel. But I got him a small pour. Victor's an awesome guy. But as you sit down at the course of the night, there was 2 Dans that, like I said, there was the Dan that made the brisket, that had the holy water. There was another Dan that brought me 3 samples for a blind. Then I traded out some stuff for him. I'm saying traded. I brought him some stuff because I wanted to try it. He brought me some stuff because he wanted to try it. But it's amazing. You sit around and you're getting into things and you're having a good time. And then who shows up? Rusty. I mean, I am so excited about that Bourbon Syndicate. He shows up, and we're just sitting around. He brought some space heaters out, and we're just having a good time. And I'll tell you what, I'd like to compliment, the ABC store. I think they did a fantastic job of giving good direction, getting people in and out, lining them up, getting them set up. Auburn Police Department, amazing job. You got a bunch of yahoos hanging out in a parking lot sharing some beverages, but they rolling through, and as long as there's nothing insane or crazy going on, they're making sure that we're safe and that we're not any kind of threat to anybody. And they just roll through and check, make sure everything's there. And I'm thankful for that, because it kind of keeps that mindset of, hey, we're going to have a good time, but we're not going to be stupid at the same time. But they were very friendly too, so thankful for them out there. But at the point of the night, and we'd been drinking for about 7 hours at that point. If you've watched Whiskey Wisdom, a lot of times after his lives, he'll do the after dark for people that want to come in and just talk. It's not recorded, but it's just talking. I remember seeing Brian on there. And I had Adam from Major Zero on there, and of course Matt, and there was a few other people on there. And you got to remember, please be kind with me. I had a few beverages at that point. But, Rusty and I are going back and forth, and we're talking to them, and they're kind of seeing the kind of little carnival bourbon atmosphere going on. And, and Bruzel, like I said, he impressed me so much by what a kind person he was, and just down to earth, was willing to spend time with you and just talk to you. And it wasn't just me, it was anyone that was there. And he's got a great personality, which lends to a lot of that. But as we're doing, the after dark where we're on live but not recording, I said, "Hey, do you mind coming over for a second?" And he got on and he talked for like an hour. And I'm like, you know, that is so freaking cool. This man was ready to lay down. He was already exhausted. He was wore out, but he came over and he talked to, you know, our group of friends and just talked about an hour and like wants to help and willing to listen and will give guidance. You know, and that's just one of the amazing things. You know, I was talking about Dan and Bill earlier. You know, Dan brought the brisket and stuff, but, you know, Dan and I get into some deeper conversation. And it's about losses that we've had in our lives and the importance of people who went outside their comfort zone and checked on us personally. And you guys were a great example of that earlier this year when I had, you know, a lot going on in the family life. We lost a member of the family. You guys supported me so I could support the people that had the immediate impact. And we had talked about, Dan and I talked about how important it is to go outside your comfort zone when you see somebody going through something and just step up and say, hey, I love you. What can I do for you? What's going on? You know, and it's neat that you're sitting there in a parking lot, you know, at midnight, eating on great brisket and talking life. And on top of that, Bill's daughter brought some crumble cookies for everybody. I mean, you know, we razzed Bill a bit, but excellent. You know, Bill was the reason that we had brisket and crumble cookies, and he had some amazing pours as well. He brought a purple top willet, brought out some of the old Carter, which was fantastic. But it was a great time. And so as you go through all these things through the course of the night, and you've met all these wonderful people, met someone that worked with Bruzel, whose wife was out there helping out, and I got the Found North pour from him. And I mean, we go back and forth on things. This is what I like, this is what I don't like. You know I'm a cinnamon forward person, so not everyone's going to like Amburana. And there's people that, you know, I don't think TJ was a huge Amburana fan, and he says I like a tiny bit of cinnamon. You know, I believe if I'm phrasing it right, I like a tiny bit of cinnamon that I can taste in my bourbon. I don't want to have a whole mouthful of cinnamon like someone's trying to jump it down my throat. But it was good though, because you learn about people, what their likes, their dislikes are. And I can't tell you that's just the tip of the iceberg on the story. You know, getting to hang out with Rusty, getting to hang out with all the wonderful people in the group that we had there, and just talk about things, and, you know, open up some cigars and just have fun. I was in such a hurry Friday night or Friday afternoon when I got home from work. I grabbed some sample bottles. I grabbed a bunch of bourbons that I put out. Sure, I put out like 8. I think I put about, it was like probably close to 12 bottles that I said, look, if you want to try it, try it. If you want to sample, there's sample bottles. Go for it. And everyone else was generous that way too, you know. But so you go. I was so excited. I packed up the bourbon. You know, I got the sample bottles. I grabbed my jar full of cigars. You know, I learned a new redneck method on how to store cigars. And it's one of those really sealed tight lids that you put in your humidifier pack with your cigars, and it looks awesome. And I love it. I had fun with it. So James, thank you for that idea. But you know, but I took off and I didn't even bring a Glen, didn't even bring a torch, didn't bring a cutter. But you know, you go to the group and they'll provide. So there was one point I got a glass from my buddy Jeremy. Oh my gosh, Jeremy. It is always so great to hang out with Jeremy at these things. And he had the line on something special. And I'm not going to ruin anything. But he had the line on something special, and it just didn't come through. And I think it's going to be internet famous when it hits Bruzel's channel. So looking forward to that as well, dude. I was gut punched with you yesterday. But you know what? It's a new day. You still ended up with some amazing bottles yesterday. So very nice there. But I mean, like you said, you just get to hang out and you have a good time. So I get there. Jeremy gets me a Glen. You know, drinking on some wonderful things. The next thing you know, my Glen comes up missing. So Bill must have accidentally swiped my Glen. And I'm like, I need another Glen. So after a while, I'm like double and triple Glenning because I've had so many Glens and I've got so many interesting pours that I want to try. And I'm like just having a great time. And it's just so much fun. You know, and I'm telling you what, for all the bottles that I got down here, and I'm at essentially 181st place in the Alabama lottery, I had so much fun with people. And that is something, those are the memories I'm going to take from this. Am I excited about the bottles? Absolutely. But the memories that I made there and the time with people, and you meet people and you're like, wow, that's such an awesome person. You know, wives that are out there to help support their husbands, One of the guys that's out there, his wife was like right in front of me. He was a little bit farther in the line, and she had her list, and she was on it. She was fantastic. But I mean, she going through, and I'm like, he hollers out, he says, "Hey, make sure you take care of her when you're going," because I'm right behind her. And we're going through, and I'm like, she's nailing this. This is phenomenal, And I'm like, are you kidding me? I should probably ask her for some direction. But that's the kind of fun you have. And then it's almost like you get to you just get right at the precipice of things, and then finally you go in. And I said to myself, I'm not going to look at what's at the tables. And for the state of Alabama, if you don't know, of course, you have to live in the state of Alabama, have an Alabama issued ID, or if you're in the military and you're stationed somewhere in Alabama, you have to kind of show your orders so you can purchase. So get up, and as I get close and we're about to go in, I'm like, I'm not going to look in the window. I don't want to know what's left on table one because I want to be surprised. This is Christmas for me. So I'll start with stuff that I kind of got on table four. In Alabama, you have table one, table two, table three, table four. And it's not just a table. It's multiple tables, especially when you get to 3 and 4. You may have, I think table 4 had, I don't know, like 7 or 8 tables full of stuff. But the way it works is on table 1, you can pick one of anything that's there. So whatever's available on table 1, you can grab one of those. When you get to table 2, you can take 2 bottles that are different of anything you want. When you get to table 3, you can grab 1 bottle of everything on table 3 if that's what you want. So you can say, hey, I just want this bottle, this bottle, this bottle, and this bottle off of table 3. Or you could say, hey, I want all 30 of these bottles on table 3. And they'll give you 1 of each. And so when you get to table 4, it's okay. You can grab 2 of each bottle on table 4. And that's the longest ones that there are. I mean, there's probably 40 or 50 bourbons. I may be exaggerating, but I'll put the pictures in at the end of what was on the list. And they're all at MSRP. So I go through, and I'm going to do it in reverse order. Let me get you showing you what I got on table 4. And some of these are just neat to have, and some of them are gifts and things like that. And it's just going to be a blast. But on table 4, I started off Buffalo Trace store pick. I'm like, you know what? I've got people that absolutely love this. They're great gifts. I ended up with a couple of bottles of the store pick. And that, we got to remember, that's at 181 coming through the line. I'm like, okay. What else did I find that I really liked on table 4? I hadn't had one of these until earlier this week. I finally found one. And then I get 2 bottled in bonds, 1792 store picks at the lottery. I'm like, I like this, because they'll have different values. I wish I'd have got a sweet wheat, but they were all gone. But I think I got a sample of that coming in, so I'm looking forward to that. But I mean, okay, now I've got some interesting things because it gives you an opportunity of someone that doesn't have that. Maybe you trade for something that they have, you want, that they have easy access to. So there's some neat things there, and I absolutely like that. And so then as I'm going down, I'm at table 3. I pick up, a couple of things, and you got to remember, I'm 181st through, so it's not like you just have everything there. And so at table 3, you can pick anything you want, but only 1 of each. And so I picked up 2 neat bottles and the neat factor is, this is the Caribou Crossing, but it's a store pick. So, it's like, okay, this has kind of got a tater factor. As you see, we got tater factor over here, tater factor right here. But it's something, too, that we don't see a lot of here. It's more prevalent in other areas. Prevalent, sorry about that, in other areas. But it's a store pick, so it's got some uniqueness to it. So I was like, that is very cool. And then, of course, another tater bottle, but this is a Blanton store pick. I can usually get at least a Blanton's a month at MSRP. But now I've got a store pick at MSRP. And, of course, we got one that we're giving away at $1,500. But it's so cool because you're like, oh, I got this. Oh, and, of course, I left this one up on the table, forgot about it. And also off of table 3, an Eagle Rare store pick. So off of table, 3, I got, the Caribou Crossing, the Eagle Rare store pick, and a Blanton store pick. And table 4, I got a couple Buffalo Trace store picks, 1792 Bottle and Bond store picks. So I'm like, okay, I'm going full tater here. I like it, though, because it gives me things that I didn't have on my bar, or maybe some other people would like on their bar eventually. So that's the cool part. Now we're moving into table 2. And man, I don't know if you know, but Stag 22A has been phenomenal for me. I love it. As you can tell, I don't have a lot left of it. And I had no anticipation that there would be anything available there. And I'm like, yeah, we'll see what we got. So I get up there, table 2. One of the bottles I find is this Stag 22A at MSRP. Just sitting there waiting for me. And you got to remember, when you are very early on that table, I mean, they have birthday bourbons on table 2. So they have amazing bottles. But the Stag was one that I'm like, I could have got a different bottle, but I know how much I like this bottle. And I'm like, I am all in on this bottle this is something that it's a guilty pleasure treat for me, especially at MSRP. 22A was one of my favorites this year. This is one of my little guilty pleasure bottles. This is the Jack Daniels. This is the Heritage Double Oak Rye, the twice barreled rye. So this is one that's just super, super hard to find. Like I said, I'm 181 in the line. I don't know how many people actually showed up on the first 150. But I mean, I'm like, I got the Stag. I got this Jack Daniels twice barreled Heritage Rye. I'm like, I'm pretty dang happy. But then let me get you to table 1. And I'm telling you, if you get a lottery number in the state of Alabama, you are getting a big boy bottle. And even 31st in walk-up, I got a bottle that I didn't have from my collection that I'm very happy to add. And this is the Weller Single Barrel. I got it at $50-some, and I'll put just a picture of the receipt at the end. I didn't realize that, the young lady, I'd paid in cash. I didn't realize that she had put in $5,100 instead of $510, so it looks like I got $4,000 in change. But someone pointed that out to me earlier, and I laughed about that. I'm like, no, I did a full RJ on this. I said, I just slapped my $5,100 on the counter and said, please count me back my change. No, but I actually gave her $510. She just misrung it. I didn't get all that change back. But this is a Weller single barrel. Very excited about this. These are very hard to find. But coming in at like 181st, and I had some tough choices. There was an E.H. Taylor, barrel proof up there. They had the CYPP up there, but I'm like, I just want to do the single barrel. So, like I said, all in all, I thought it was fantastic. I think I was very, very happy with the pours, but the most important part was the camaraderie. It was getting to hang out with people, just talking at different levels. Sitting out at midnight, smoking a cigar, having some amazing pours with some amazing people. Sleep deprived, probably didn't smell too good at the end of it, but had some great food, great conversation, great bourbons. And then I get the pleasure of coming home with some extra presents, which is fantastic. Thank you all very, very much for that great experience. Like I said, it's a fantastic experience. 1,500 subscribers. Thank you again for that. So I'm supposed to be meeting someone today. Now, we've had a series of bad storms to this area, but I believe we'll still be good as long as everything, life works out. There's a few more options that are coming up for the 1,500 giveaway. I will be meeting this gentleman today, Lord willing, and I will share those on tomorrow's video. Tomorrow's video will have the key phrase for the 1,500 member subscriber giveaway. I'll show what's available. You'll have to put a phrase in the video. You must be a subscriber. You must like the video. Must be over 21 continental U.S. But I am so excited about this. So I'll post it tomorrow. Sunday, the video will come out with the drawings from that. Now, you have to have your name in there by Saturday, so I can get the video done together to release Sunday. And the first person that's picked will have the first opportunity. Second person picked, second opportunity. So it'll go down a line once your names are picked. But I think it'll be super cool because there'll be a lot of people getting some really neat stuff right at Christmas time. Whether you choose to drink it, sell it, gift it to another person, that's yours to do. But it's just a thank you for continuing the growth on this channel. But it's Sunday morning here, getting ready for church. We've got a musical coming up, not this Sunday, but next Sunday, and I get some luck. I don't know why, but they choose me to do a speaking part on it. I'm very thankful for that. But getting ready for church, getting ready for that, so I'm ready for a fantastic day. I hope if you're working, your work time goes fast. If you're off, I hope your time goes slow and you're enjoying time with your family members and having a great time. Dan, I hope you have an amazing, amazing time with the girls and waitress. But most importantly, all, cheers and God bless. You all have an amazing day.